Okay, what's up guys? Here in this video, this is your weekly task for the first week, okay? It's not going to be a whole heck of a lot. You're just going to take notes, and then this will be so forth, okay? Sketch a graph with the following equations. Y equals 3x plus 5. It says use slope, y-intercept. Okay, so you're going to make a graph here. And just leave it like that. You're just going to sketch this, okay? Because you don't have graph paper, most of you, okay? So remember, if I need to use slope y-intercept, I wall the y. The y is by itself, so if the y is by itself, we can label m and b. So if I'm able to label mb, I know my slope and I know my y-intercept. Okay, the slope is 3. We put a 1 underneath the 3, and then the y-intercept is going to be plus 5. So I grab my y-intercept first. I go up to where 5's at, about, okay? Just put a 5 right there. And then from there you count up 3, forward 1. So up 3, forward 1's right about there, and then just make the line as straight as you can, okay? So that's why we're going to be doing the graphing, okay? Number 2, negative 6x plus 3y equals 12. Use slope y-intercept. Okay, so I make my plane right there. Wall the side of the equation that contains the y, and this time the y is not by itself, so we don't know the m, we don't know the b. We need to dot our y and circle it, make sure it's a positive 3. It is. We don't need to change anything. Then I need to add 6x to get it away off this side. But then I need to make my own x over there, and that's where the 0x comes in. And I add 6x. So I line up my equals. I have 3 times y. 0x plus 6x is 6x, and then plus 12. Now divide everything by the 3. Okay, 6 divided by 3 is 2x, and then 12 divided by 3 is 4. And what that has accomplished is I now have the y by itself. So I have my m and my b. So I have my slope and my y-intercept. The slope is 2, we'll put a 1 under it. And the y-intercept is plus 4. So on the y-intercept, that's the one going this way, we go up to 4. And then from there I'd go up 2, forward 1, about like that. Okay, and there's my line. Okay, number 3. X equals negative 6. It says constant. X equals negative 6. Okay, so in constant form we make 3 coordinates, okay? It's called constant form because there's no y variable, there's only an x variable. When you see only one of the 2 variables, x or y, it's constant form. Now it says x equals negative 6, so I put negative 6, negative 6, negative 6 in for x, and then y can be whatever we want, okay? So we'll go 1, 2, 3. So I would go backwards 6 up 1, backwards 6 up 2, backwards 6 up 3, and there's a line right there. So constant form, when you only have one of the x or y variables constant, that's kind of the only way you would graph it. Okay, number 4. (2x plus 4y equals 8. We still need to graph this, okay? Okay, now it says use X and Y intercept. So it doesn't say use slope y-intercept, it says use X and Y intercept. So I write X int, Y int. And when I use this, I'm going to need a second equation of the exact same thing, 2x plus 4y equals 8. Now to find the x and y intercept, you make two coordinates. And at the to find the x-intercept, what's the opposite of x? That would be y, so we put a 0 under the y, okay? So if I'm trying to find the x-intercept, what number, I'm trying to figure out what number we're going for x, so the opposite letter I put a 0 under. So I get rid of the y and put times 0. So 4 times 0 is 0. And then I put a wall up, dot circle, and we just divide. So x equals 8 divided by 2, and that would be 4. Okay. So what I do is I go forward 4 and up 0. That should be on the x line. Now the y-intercept, I'm finding the number that goes for y, so the opposite letter I put is 0. So I put times 0 for the x. 2 times 0 is 0. Wall the y, dot circle, divide by 4, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay. Now 0, 2, that means I don't move forwards or backwards from the middle, I just go up to 2. Okay, so again, that would be my 2 points, and I just make a line out between those two. That's the path my line follows. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8 is writing equations, okay? Write an equation will line with a slope of negative 2/3 passing through the point 6, 5. So I'm going to write slope equals negative 2/3. Then I'm going to make a coordinate, and I'm going to put 6, 5. 6 is x, 5 is y. Okay, to write an equation of a line, you write y equals blank x plus blank. This is m, this is b. Now remember what m and b stand for. M is your, by the way, this will be my answer to this problem. Okay, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So m's the slope, so the slope is negative 2/3, so we have that. Okay. Now my b I don't have. Okay, it doesn't tell me the y-intercept, so I use y equals m dot x plus b. But then I need to replace the y, the m, and the x to find the b. So my m is at negative 2/3 I have there. So negative 2/3 is my m. That's a negative 2/3. Here I'll write it a little bigger. So m is negative 2/3. Okay. Now the y and the x come from over here. Y is going to be 5, and then x is going to be 6. So I will take negative 2/3 times 6. So on this side I got 5. On the other side I need to take negative 2/3 times 6. That's negative 4. Plus b. Remember, b has a 1 in front with the dot, so we move the negative 4 over by adding. And 5 plus 4 is 9, so 9 equals 1 times b. Now divide by 1, and it's just 9. Okay? So that's your answer. Y is equal to negative 2/3 times x plus 9. Okay, I'm going to turn the paper over. Number 6, write an equation of a line passing through negative 1, negative 2, and 4, 8. So I'm just going to write those points down. Negative 1, negative 2, and then 4 and 8. Now again, I need to develop the equation of the line. These are two solutions for the equation. I need to use them. Y equals blank x plus blank. Okay. So, and this is the answer to the problem. Remember, m means slope, b means y-intercept. Now, it doesn't appear that we have the slope either, so when I don't have the slope, that's y minus y divided by over x minus x. Okay, so I'll go with 8 to the top, 4 to the bottom. And over here we'll go -2 to the top, -1 to the bottom. Minus with a negative after it is plus plus, and minus with a negative after it's plus plus. And that ends up being 10/5. Now if it's not a story problem, we're going to go ahead and reduce this, okay? We would look at a multiplication table, and 5 and 10 are both in the 5th row. So I would divide them down by 5, which gives us 2/1. So I can just say it's 2, okay? So the m is 2. X and y, it doesn't matter what we use. We'll pick 8 for y and then 4 for x. So we have 8, 2 times 4 is 8, plus b. 1 dot, now we have to get the 8 out of here, so I'd minus 8. And that's 0. Okay, that's okay. 0 equals 1 dot b, then I divide by 1, and 0 divided by 1 is 0. So 0 is your y-intercept. Y equals 2x plus 0. You could just write y equals 2x, but if you want to see the b, it's 0. Okay, number 7. Write an equation of a line parallel to y equals -2x plus 5 passing through the point 210. So I need to write parallel, and it's parallel to the equation y equals -2x plus 5, and then also through the point 210. So I'm still doing the same thing. Y equals blank x plus blank m b. M's a slope, b's a y-intercept. Now I go look at the equation they gave me, I wall the y, and I label it mb. Now I don't need this b, okay? What I do need to pay attention to is the m. It's parallel. Parallel lines have the same m. So if that's -2, I have -2. So there's your m, and then y equals m times x plus b. Okay, so the m is -2. Again, I need the same m here that I have here on a parallel. 10 for y, and then 2 for x. Okay, -2 times 2 is -4 plus b. Wall goes up, 1 dot circle. So -4, I'd add 4. That gives me 14. 14 equals 1 dot b. You can divide by 1, but it's still 14. Okay, and that's the equation they're looking for. Okay, number 8. Write an equation of a line perpendicular to y equals -5x plus 3 passing through the coordinate -15, 4. Remember, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Okay. Alright, so wall that, go MB, but, oh, also this is perpendicular too, right? Perpendicular, not parallel. Okay, perpendicular. You don't need the B, you don't care about that. Perpendicular, unlike parallel when I did -2, -2, perpendicular means we have to do something. First off, we need to have a fraction here. Then we need to flip the fraction to 1/5. And then if that fraction is negative there, then I need mine to be the opposite, positive. Okay, you flip it and change the sign to opposite. That's all you do. So slope is 1/5, and then y equals m times x plus b. Okay, so the m is going to be no, not here. The m is 1/5. Then the xy, you're going to have 4, -15. Okay, so I take 1/5 times -15. I got -3. Wall that, 1 dot circle, add 3, add 3. 7 equals 1 dot b, then divide by 1, and that's 7. Okay, so that's your answer. so this is graphing equations, this is writing equations. Now we got two story problems, okay? Or actually three story problems, never mind, okay? Number 9, go down, scroll down to number 9. An online class charges students $600 for registration. Students are also charged $350 per hour. If I have budgeted $6,900, how many credit hours can I take? Okay. You're finding how many hours down here at the bottom. Nope, I forgot to type that. We'll go down here. I'll make a change. Should show up hours equals, okay. Okay, so number 9. So I make the box to the side, and we've got dollars and hours. Hours is X, dollars is Y, per. Dollars per hour. Now as I read that, the dollars per hour is 350, so I have that, 350X. Okay. Then I map out my graph. 350X is your slope. Now what comes before the 350? $600. Okay, so it's $600 plus 350X equals Y. Okay, now write your equation down here. So you have 600 plus 350X equals Y. Now at the end of the problem we have $6,900. And it's dollars. So there's my dollars label. Dollars equals Y. So I want to put that in for Y. So we have 600 plus 350X equals 6,900. Okay. Now, wall the side of the letter you have to figure out. It's not by itself, so dot and circle it. Take your 600, minus it. Okay, so we have 350.x, and then 6,900 minus 600 is 6,300. And I divide by 350, divide by 350. And 6,300 divided by 350 is 18, okay? So 18 hours. Okay, number 10. I need to type something in here, so. Hold on. You already have this. Well, I got it, so. Okay. Pool's being drained of its water at a constant rate per minute. After draining for 5 minutes, 17,000 gallons remain in the pool. After draining for 10 minutes, 16,000 gallons remain in the pool. How many minutes will it take the pool to empty from its starting capacity? That means when it doesn't have 0 gallons. Okay, so I set up my box, gallons and minutes. X is the minutes, Y is the gallons. Remember, X is always your time. So per gallons per minute. When I look through that problem, I'm not seeing what the gallons per minute are, so I go up and make a table, okay? X, Y, and just put minutes and gallons. Then put in everything you see. So you see in one sentence, you got 5 minutes, 17,000 gallons. Then later on, 10 minutes, 16,000 gallons. Okay, and then later on it says 0 gallons, but I don't know how many minutes that is. Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay, how many minutes go with the 0? Well, if I know two ratios like that, I can use my Y minus Y, X minus X to figure out my gallons per minute. Okay, So 16,000 to the top, because that's your y, and then 10 to the bottom. 17,000 to the top, and then 5 to the bottom, plus negative. So on top, 16,000 plus negative 17,000 is negative 1,000. And then 10 plus negative 5 is 5. Then I divide those. And I got negative 200. So negative 200x is your rate of change. It's negative because the gallons are going down, okay? At the 11th minute, that would go down 200. 12th minute, it go down another 200. It goes down by 200 every single minute. Anytime that goes up by 1, that's going to go down by 200. Okay, so that's my slope. Now, we got to figure out how many gallons we started with. It's not 17,000. That's with 5 minutes, okay? Gallons is how many gallons you had before the time started, okay? And you don't know that. So y equals m dot x plus b. So my m is the negative 200 that I just figured out. The x and y, we can use this or this. Let's go with this. Let's put 16,000 in for y. Then times 10 for the x. Okay, negative 2,000 times 10 is going to be negative 20. Negative 200 times 10 is negative 2,000 plus b. Okay, then you plus 2,000 plus 2,000, and that's 18,000. 18,000 equals 1 dot b. Okay, you can divide by the 1, but it's kind of senseless. So 18,000 is how much was in this pool to begin with. Okay? Before the time started, that means. Okay, then my equation is 18,000 plus negative 200x equals y. Okay, and then 0 gallons. Now gallons up there is y, so that goes in for y. 18,000 plus negative 200x equals 0. Okay, wall goes up, dot circle. Get rid of your 18,000 by subtraction. Okay, so line up your equals. You have negative 200 times x. And then 0 minus 18,000 is negative 18,000. If you take 0 minus a number, it becomes the negative version of that number. Then I divide by negative 200. We got 90. Okay, so it's going to take 90 minutes to get down to an empty pool. Hour and a half, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so again, that one's kind of like the last one, the 3 boxes. You just have to develop a table, y minus y, x minus x, find some gallons per minute. Y equals m times x plus b has to be used to find out what you started with. Okay, last problem. Okay, the following table shows a revenue raised at U.S. theme parks, and you can see it. Part A. Now, I'm not going to draw the table. You should be able to see that on your computer, phone, whatever you're using. Sketch a scatter plot from the data and draw a line of best fit. Start at 5s, go by 1s until you reach 12. Here you're going by 1s, but I'm talking about the other line. So just go number 12. First off, just put part A. Okay. Okay, this is a scatter plot right here. Doesn't have to be perfect. You go from 0 to 7. So 0's right here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Now on this line, I tell you what to do. Start at 5, go by 1s until you reach 12. So 5, and then by 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Then I just sketch the points. Okay. 0, 5.7. Okay, so that's somewhere in there. 1 is with 6.5. 2 is with 7.9. 3 is with 8.7. Kind of lining up pretty good for me. 4 is with 9.6. Oh, kind of leveled off there. 5 is with 9.9. Again, this doesn't have to be beautiful, okay? 6 is with 10.8. Okay, so it's somewhere up there. The 7 is with 11.5. Then I would take if you have a ruler, great. If you don't, just draw a line as straight as possible through the points. Okay, it's not going to be, different lines look different. Okay, but desperate times here call for desperate measures. Okay, that's it for part A. Part B. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that represents your line. So we go y equals blank x plus blank mb. Now you got to pick 2 points, okay? 2 points. I'll pick the last 2. Now I know you don't have a paper where you can go up and circle them on your table, but we're going to roll with the last 2. Okay. Go with these 2 here. So that's y minus yx minus x. Okay, and on the y's, let's go start with this one. 11.5 to the top, 7 to the bottom. 10.8 to the top, 6 to the bottom. Plus negative, plus negative. If I add these, it's going to be 0.7. If I add 7 to negative 6, it's 1. Now divide, you get 0.7. You're dividing, on story problems you need to divide. Don't worry about the reducing, okay? So I got 0.7. Now the b, you can use y equals m times x plus b with this as your m and then one of these 2 as your b, or you can just look at the beginning of your table. 0 years, 5.7. Okay, that's a quick way you can get a good b. Now, if you did y equals m times x plus b, you would get a different b, but it would be about the same thing as 5.7. That's all you do. You don't have to plug a number in for it. We just want the equation. Okay, just make sure you get that down in your notebook. And then that's what I'm going to kind of have you do. There was really only one new thing I had to teach you guys this year before you left, so I'll save that because we're going to need to do that when we get back. Okay, so I'm just going to keep you guys sharp on this stuff, take notes, okay, so forth.